What's up? I'm the Uneducated Man, and this is the Iron Couch, where every week I'm going to break down each episode of House of the Dragon, and maybe get some opinions and theories from some guests if anybody wants to come on StreamYard with me. So, after every kind of technical difficulty and craziness that I could possibly have, and save...
Boring conversation anyway.
Here's the Iron Couch, Season 1, Episode 1. We get a nice little shout out to Danny here. Really cool shot of King's Landing, running through the streets of King's Landing. Also got a really nice shot of the Red Keep. And a shot inside that I'm pretty sure later on becomes that map room from Season 8 of Game of Thrones. Pretty cool shot of the Dragon Pit. And I really like that they gave us the shot of the Werewood and the Godswood in King's Landing. It's really cool to see that big old tree in the face again. Harrenhal looks amazing, just all creepy inside. First look at Viserys and his sister, the queen that never was. Here in the small council, we get to meet Corlys Velaryon, who I'm going to try really hard not to call cordless like he was made by DeWalt. Not 100% sure who exactly that is at this point, but an Archmaester, and I think the other dude is the Master of Coin. And then as we go through, we're also going to run into Otto. No, Otto Hightower, the Hand of the King, who, I don't know, gives me weird vibes. We got Daemon Targaryen and his gold cloaks. These are definitely his boys.
Who's that?
Jamie fucking Lannister.
So they ride out to try to round up all the criminals. And they are cutting parts off of these dudes, like... The tourney grounds and the entire tourney scene was really great. Especially the Tony Hawk moment here, rail sliding for that 100 bonus points. A bunch of people got taken out in this tournament. Kristen Cole came through and just whipped some Targaryen ass after a while when he forgot to look behind him. Now at the same time, we have this crazy contrast between what the Queen's going through. Between how wild the tournament got and this scene, because, like, this was legit kind of hard to watch. This is more or less when I realized that we were back in Westeros, man, and things get rough in Westeros. After the death of the Queen and her son, we get the funeral scene here, and we can definitely tell that there is a lot of tension now in between Rhaenyra and her father. He just shuts down and ignores her, and she probably blames him for the death of her mother. We get a little moment between Alicent Hightower and her dad, Otto, that turns out to really give off some hardcore Tywin Lannister vibes. Yeah, I'm pretty sure Otto's kind of a creep. Otto really feels like it's a good idea to go ahead and use his daughter to, quote-unquote, comfort the king. So after a night of being kind of drunk and stupid, Daemon gets himself in trouble for some shit that he talked. It's a pretty good scene, and it's an amazing shot of the Iron Throne, a little bit more like it was supposed to be from the books. And has this really good confrontation with the king, in which he basically gets yeeted right back home to the Eyrie, where he's supposed to be with his wife. We also get the end of the little scene here that shows Viserys cutting himself on that Iron Throne. So now, maybe the greatest conversation piece on Earth, the skull of Balerion the Black Dread. That's a pretty good spot to have a real deep conversation with your kid about becoming queen and going over some of the legacy of the Targaryens. We can definitely see in the coronation, too, that not everybody that's swearing allegiance to them right now is entirely happy about it. Not even Alicent from the looks of it. Here's a not entirely happy-looking High Tower. The queen that never was not looking happy. A not looking happy Baratheon. And a not happy looking Stark. But, you know, Starks never look happy, so. It was cool to see the dagger again. This is the part that threw me completely. Everything else I was expecting. I've read the books, and yeah. I knew there was going to be little changes, but not this. But when he tells Rhaenyra that the Targaryens have been passing down the knowledge that they'll be needed to fight the Night King at some point, that blew my mind. So, the dragons. I mean, it's House of the Dragon, so it's got to be all about the dragons, right? In my opinion, they look really good. The CGI here all looks really good, from the clouds to the dragon to the city, everything. I like that the people of King's Landing don't seem to really care, like, yep, that's normal, just another dragon. So we get some really good shots of Syrax, just golden as can be. Looks pretty good, looks really a lot like Dany's dragons for the most part. She does have a little bit more of a sleek looking head than any of Dany's dragons had. They looked a little bit more bold. And then we have Caraxes, Daemon's ridiculously large dragon. Still not the biggest one, but you can kind of tell not just the color, but the design, the overall shape of this dragon is different than Syrax. Long neck, almost like a snake-like looking dragon. And look at the hind legs and the weird little, I don't know, wings, wing flaps, whatever it is on the hind legs. So a couple of more things. Like, who are the dragon keepers? Are they Valerians? Are they slaves? Who are they, and why don't the dragons just eat them? How do the Targaryens know about the Night King and all that stuff? What does that mean for the prophecy of Azor Ahai? Is this like a big plot point that we're going to get somewhere going through the show? When did we lose this information? Did the Mad King and Rhaegar know about this? Or did we lose it at some point, maybe right now during the Dance of the Dragons? Who the is Christian Cole? Are we going to see even more variations of dragons? Since the book relies on 3 different sources, we really have no idea about the details that led up to any of these big events, because half the time the people giving the sources weren't even there. So what else are we going to find out? So what were my overall feelings about stepping back into Westeros? So far, I like the show. We don't have a super catchy theme or opening yet like Game of Thrones did, but the music's pretty good. Seeing more of the city is great. Dragon designs and as much of them as we're going to be seeing in this show, that should be pretty good. Right now, I'm just waiting to see how the writing and the dialogue's going to work out. Are we going to have some really memorable scenes like Jaime Lannister and Tywin talking in the first season? Are we going to have scenes maybe like Varys and Littlefinger sparring in their season? Or Tyrion and literally anybody he talked to in the first seasons? Speaking of which, I wonder if we're going to have any kind of humor the way that Tyrion and Bronn sort of brought to the show.
I am the god of chits and wine.
Maybe next week we'll get some answers to some of these questions. Like and subscribe if you enjoyed the content. Comment if I missed anything, or if you want to be a guest on here with me over StreamYard. Now, if you'll excuse me, dinner is coming.